It's Friday, the 19th of August, 2022. Welcome to the Fast Five by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories in 5 minutes. The first one is a big one. Let's jump into it. The Australian economy lost 41,000 jobs in July, but that didn't actually prevent the unemployment rate from falling to a new 48-year low of 3.4%.
And Michael, for the first time, the number of unemployed, 474,000, is lower than job vacancies, 480,000. It might seem unusual to have job losses and a fall in the unemployment rate, but that reflects a drop in the participation rate, or the number of people looking for work. That rate had been at record levels, but fell back last month, albeit still above pre-pandemic levels. Labour market spare capacity, which is a measure of unemployment plus underemployment, is at its lowest in 40 years. No matter how you look at it, the labour market is hot. Now, the numbers were just a touch weaker than expected, particularly the job losses. Some of the leading indicators of the employment market, such as job advertisements, have fallen slightly, but they are coming off very high levels. People can find a job if they want one. The bad news in all this? Well, the labour market's tight. We haven't seen a lot of wage growth yet, but we're going to. The Reserve Bank, this just adds to the argument to keep lifting interest rates. The main question when they meet in a couple of weeks is whether they'll go 50 basis points or 25 basis points. And the consensus is that it'll be 50 basis points.
All right, on to story number 2. And Australia's biggest toll road group, Transurban, has reported a disappointing $16 million net profit, and its distribution is going to be lower than expected. That triggered a 3.4% fall in its share price yesterday. But what's behind the numbers is probably the most interesting part of this story.
Absolutely. Transurban is one of those companies that outside the business media just doesn't get much attention, but it's the 13th biggest company on the ASX, just behind Telstra. It's worth $43 billion, and it knows all about traffic flows. Across the last financial year, average daily traffic was down a touch, but in the final 3 months, it was back up. So in that June quarter, on average, there were 2.4 million trips a day on Transurban toll roads, which is back above pre-pandemic levels. Traffic flows to CBDs are rising fast. Research shows that people now have greater flexibility around working from home. We kind of knew that. But what Transurban said is that 70% of people now have greater flexibility about when they start and when they finish, and they're shifting away from peak hours. Think about that. That's actually encouraging use of private vehicles and discouraging public transport. Really interesting trends.
Yeah, sure is. Story number 3, Sean, I know you love a drink. Wine prices, it seems, are rising, and apparently Australians are prepared to pay higher prices because we consider it an affordable luxury.
Yes, some don't think luxury, some think necessity, but let's just park that. Treasury Wine Estates, owner of Penfolds among others, reported yesterday, it said net profit was up 5%. Because it's been able to lift prices across a range of its products. People are prepared to pay for it. The company's also made good progress shifting away from China, which last year imposed punitive tariffs on its products. Chief Executive Tim Ford was relaxed about any potential recession or economic slowdown because of the fact that wine is an affordable luxury. People keep spending on alcohol. There you go.
Sean, story number 4. I know you've got quite a personal interest in this one because you are a bit of a gym nut, a gym junkie, if you will. The F45 gym chain has just announced a quarterly loss of $35 million US. This is the group that actually started right here in Australia and listed on Wall Street with the support of Hollywood star Mark Wahlberg.
Yes, and it is in trouble. At the end of last year, it had 1,800 gyms around the world and was set to open 1,500 more. It had listed on the New York Stock Exchange, was worth about $1.4 billion. Now, since its peak, F45's share price has lost more than 85% in value. Wahlberg is selling down. Last month, it got rid of its Australian founder and chief executive, Adam Gilchrist. It cut about 110 staff and drastically reduced new gym openings. According to media reports, it's now struggling to raise money to expand and facing at least 5 lawsuits from disgruntled franchisees. Not good. I love F45. I've only been going for 5 weeks, right? So there's still a novelty factor. So long as Turramurra stays open, I'm okay.
You are okay. All right, story number 5. I do not know, Sean, what to make of this one. Japan is running a campaign to convince young adults to drink more. Yes, that's drink more.
Japan's population, Michael, is ageing. We know that, and that's led to a drop in alcohol consumption, which in turn has led to a drop in tax collections. Alcohol accounted for about 3% of total taxes a decade ago, according to the Financial Times. Now it's 2%. That's a lot of yen. So the solution, Sake Viva, which is an unorthodox government-backed campaign which is asking people to devise ways to get younger people between the ages of 20 and 39 years of age to drink more. This is a serious story.
It sounds a little bit like a hoax.
It does, but it's not.
But it is a ripper of a story. There we go, the top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It's Friday, the 19th of August, 2022. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't quite enough for you, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.